Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Deca and welcome to another home htcg series. I've been on this creative drive where I create creatures for the Marcus TCG, and I've been doing this for about a few days now. And I don't really have a specific focus. I'm just creating for my game in general. And I thought about making a video explaining or showing you guys my process on how I create card for my TCG. Not a step-by-step process on how I create. This is just a video of me, talking about my process of creating, not necessarily showing them. And number one thing that I always do is to listen to my mind. I feel like my biggest source of creation is my imagination, which is my brain or my mind, and then my hand. And there are a lot of creatures I've made for the Marcus TCGs that I didn't really need to think about. I was just playing with my artwork, and then I drew something amazing that I felt should be in the game. So number one tip or process that I'm sharing is having to listen to your brain and allow your hand draw whatever it wants to. So how I do this is that I hold a pen and then I listen to the first command. Maybe my mind tells me draw a circle, and I draw a circle, and whatever process it says or it guides me through, I literally draw. After drawing and the drawing doesn't sit well with you, you can refine that into something amazing. So the first tip is to listen to your head and let your hand move. Another process that I would like to share is having reference. I don't do this often because for now I have a lot of creatures that I want to draw. So at this point I'm not using any reference, except I'm creating a creature specifically for a particular purpose. Maybe I have a particular theme that I'm creating for. But references are very good in creating art, and they don't necessarily need to be research work. You can literally reference your art over another creator's art, not necessarily copying their artwork, or using their art as a source of reference for yours. And another way that I create is not limiting myself to a particular theme or a particular style. And while creating the Minecraft CCG, I told myself that I wasn't going to add any types to the game because I felt like types, kind of limit me in particular to exactly what to create. This is for me. This can be different for you. Subjecting yourself to a particular type may be helpful for you, but for me, I find that limiting because now I have to create strictly on, the theme of whatever I'm creating for. A lot of TCG creators do this where they make games that has a very street theme, like an element-based game where you have to create creatures for certain theme or for certain element. And for me, I just find that a bit limiting. Personally, for me, I like a free flow of ideas, and I don't want to subject myself to having to, limit my ideas on what I can create because I have to meet my expectations to creating for a specific theme or a specific type for my game. So currently I have no types for my game, and I recently added these just to make the game a bit fun, which are rarities. Initially I didn't have rarities for my game because I felt like they were a bit limiting to the type of creatures that I can create. But as creators, we can tweak this a bit, especially for those who've already subjected their game to a specific theme, having to create creatures for a specific element like a water-based creature. There are ways that you can tweak that you don't necessarily need to bury yourself in I have to create a water type creature. Sometimes you can create like a mech or fire type creature, adding some water attributes, and you make that a water creature, and that works just well for your TCG. Another process that I like to follow is having to rest. And this is different for everyone, I guess, because I saw another creator who talked about pressuring yourself to create, and that is when you feel more satisfied. But for me, I rather rest than to pressure myself to create a particular creature. There was a creature that I was drawing. I'm gonna put that somewhere in the screen, and I couldn't just get that creature. Give me a minute. I'm gonna pause the video and then show you guys the creature. These two creatures were recently added to the Marcus TCG. This is Bellumont, named by Epic Underwords, and this is Trika, named by a friend of mine. And I kind of got this drawing on an instant, but the coloring was what took time. And this creature, I couldn't figure it out. I knew what I wanted to create, a big four-legged creature or a creature that walks on, both its arms and its leg, but I couldn't figure out exactly what I wanted to draw. but I could see it, but I couldn't just bring it to life. So what I did was to rest and allow my brain, calm down. And immediately I got settled, the idea kicked in. This was exactly what I saw, and this was exactly what I drew. And for tree card, I couldn't, color. I used acrylic markers, and I wasn't really used to that. And I got discouraged, and I just, left the artwork for a while. And I got motivated to, finish up the artwork, and I got back and I finished it up. But if I had kept pressuring myself, personally, I know I would have clogged, and I would have probably not want to, ruin it in the process of trying to bring it to life by force. So the first is to allow your brain create, and the second is not to have or not to be strict to a particular theme or not to limit your imagination. And the third is to learn to take breaks. So this will be it for this episode. Maybe on my next video, I show a practical step on how I create cards for my TCG. But I hope this video was kind of helpful or insightful to other TCG or HTCG creators. Thank you guys for watching the video. See you guys in the next one. Bye.